Hi guys, this is Aquifil again, and today as you might have noticed, I've separated my two channels. The Aquifil channel, which is for Let's Plays and stuff like that, and which is exclusively in German. And now I have my own channel for the wrestling stuff, Aquifil's Wrestling Corner. Of course, for the older videos, the reviews, previews, the classic reviews, and the 10 counts I've done since January up until WrestleMania. Somehow I can transport them to this new channel, so check them out at my other channel or on my other channel. And this is going to be the first video for my new channel, and yeah, I've decided to do something new, an in-depth look on certain superstars. And yeah, well, it's not, not going to do the whole WWE DVD documentary thing about the guys, but I'll give my 2 cents about them anyway, and some highlights of their careers. And I'm going to start with Roman Reigns, one of the most controversial stars of our time, undoubtedly. So, Roman Reigns was born Liati Joseph Anoa'i, in Pensacola, it seems, in Florida, on the 25th of May in 1985. Oh, same year as me, just about 3 months younger. He played football for a while, but, well, the most important thing is his wrestling career, not his American football career, which wasn't too successful, it seems. Well, so his wrestling career started in 2010 when he got under contract with the WWE, which is no surprise, being a member of the Anoa'i family, whether we're blood bond or real relation, I don't know. A friend of mine said, well, there's a whole lot of stuff going on that many people who are from the Anoa'i family are more of, it's not like for example, in Germany or America, normally in America, where you're related only by blood because your father was the brother of another guy's father. It seems there's a lot of cultural difference with the Samoans. I don't know if that everything is true, my friend said, but in the end, whether or not he somehow is linked to the Anoa'i family, and of course that makes him the cousin of guys like The Rock, one of the greatest superstars of all time, the Wild Samoans, Arthur and Sika, Yokozuna, and you all know the Anoa'i family. It's the biggest Samoan wrestling dynasty, and they are linked to the WWE like few other families. And well, of course, he started in Florida Championship Wrestling, and he debuted as, let me look here, on 9th of September as Roman Leakey in 2010. And in 2012, in NXT, he would become Roman Reigns. And that's the name we all know. And we all know The Shield with Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. And they debuted on the main roster in November at the Survivor Series. That's pretty fast ascent, looking at how they became the Shield in 2012, and in 2012 they made their main roster debut as the Shield, and we all know the Shield. What huge impact they had. They came in through the crowd. They wore these vests, and they destroyed everything in their way. And that was one of the first real match they had as the Shield. I'm gonna have to take a look here. It was in 2012 at TLC, I think. A lot of matches here. I have to look. I don't have everything memorized, so the first huge match at a pay-per-view, of course, was the TLC thing against the good old Team Hell No, Daniel Bryan and Kane. That was a fun time. And the last time I really had fun watching Kane. And Ryback. And of course, that match, it was great. It was a real great match. And that was the start of the Shield being this awesome new stable. The stable you really had to, you had to recognize them. You couldn't say, oh, that's the Shield. Who cares about them? And soon after they had a whole lot of six-man tag matches because they were a unity. And that's something the Shield represented that we haven't seen in a long time in the WWE, the real unity. 3 brothers fighting side by side. And Reigns was the powerhouse of the 3. Obviously, look at him. He's the powerhouse of the 3. And with the whole Shield stuff, it was just awesome. They were great. And throughout 2013, they dominated a whole lot of the roster until they faced off with the Wyatt family at, I gotta take a look here again, at Elimination Chamber 2014 it was. The 6-man tag team, they feuded against the Wyatt family, which kind of was an obvious choice because the Shield per se were heels, but the crowd loved them. You had Dean Ambrose, the lunatic, Seth Rollins, somehow the technician high flyer guy, and Roman Reigns, the badass powerhouse, the enforcer. And in this role, the people just loved him. Memorable side notes were the eliminate and the 10-man, 6-man, 8-man, 10-man. I don't really remember. In late 2013, it was let me take a look here. At the Survivor Series, the 10-man tag elimination match, where it appeared the faces whom I definitely wasn't cheering for because Cesaro, great guy, the Shield, great guys, and on the other hand you had, Cody Rhodes and Goldust at the time were awesome, the Usos, and Rey Mysterio, your classic babyface team, boring stuff. And, Reigns really went on a rampage here and eliminated a lot of guys because, they were 2 to 5. And Dean Ambrose was eliminated first, then Swagger, then Cesaro, and then Reigns eliminated Jimmy Uso, Cody Rhodes. Rollins eliminated Jey Uso, Rey eliminated Seth Rollins, and then Roman Reigns stood tall against Goldust and Rey Mysterio. 4 eliminations and winning the match pretty much single-handedly. That's a feat. Not many people can brace it, or can really say, I've done that, except maybe for Hulk Hogan. That was the first indication that the WWE really saw something in Roman Reigns. And at the Royal Rumble, it continued where he broke Kane's all-time record of 11 eliminations by eliminating 12 people. Well, that's a nice start for Roman Reigns. I gotta go back to Reigns here. I mean, even if Batista won, at that time, the people they wanted Daniel Bryan. And in the end, Batista eliminated Reigns, but the crowd loved Roman Reigns. They wanted him to be the guy who beat him. He 12 enemies. He eliminated 12 opponents. I just wanted to get that straight, not that I've been telling you crap here. Well, huge push for him. And the crowd loved him. And at that time, of course the crowd loved him. Why wouldn't they? He was member of the Shield, the coolest faction we've seen probably since, some people might say Evolution. I would say since the DX and the Shield. They just were awesome. And a lot of it brushed off on Roman Reigns. And even the feud with the Wyatts. Awesome match. After that, they feuded with the Authority guys. And, no surprise here. Again, awesome. They even had, well, the Authority, the Evolution guys. They had 2 matches against them on pay-per-view. I gotta take a look here. First off, they fought 3 times against the White family, all of those matches were great. And then they had 2 matches against Evolution, 1 at Extreme Rules and 1 at Payback. And the one at Extreme Rules was a simple 6-man tag match, and again, just an awesome match, which the Shield won. And after that, the Payback match, it was a no-holds-barred 6-man tag elimination match. Oh, what kind of thing to call a match? It's just very long and well. Anyway, Rollins eliminates Batista. Ambrose eliminates Orton, and Roman Reigns eliminates Triple H. 3-0 in a 6-man tag elimination match against Evolution. They went 3-0. Again, something you don't see every day, and certainly you won't be seeing it again anytime soon. So after that, we had a few matches against, for example, the Money in the Bank ladder match, which he obviously didn't win because, well, John Cena won. He needed to lose at SummerSlam against Brock Lesnar, and I think the plan originally was, I'm not sure about it, but that Roman Reigns defeats Lesnar at WrestleMania. Well, after a few other matches, for example, against Roman Reigns, against Randy Orton, Dave Meltzer rated it 4 stars. It was decent, but not great. Yeah, he was injured and, well, came back to win the 2015 Royal Rumble. And after the split of the Shield, it was obvious that the WWE wanted to push Roman Reigns to the main event. And yeah, somehow, after the Shield, and a lot of Roman Reigns is the strong guy booking, and not as much the badass he was with the Shield, the enforcer type of guy, silent but deadly, the crowd seemed to get a grasp of what WWE was doing or was trying to do, and they didn't like it. He wasn't as popular in a single run as when he was with the Shield, and yeah. Him winning the Royal Rumble, there was a lot of safe booking. And that's, in my opinion, that was one of the biggest mistakes the WWE did made in early 2015. Everybody wanted Daniel Bryan to win, and yeah, I'm a huge Bryan mark, but, well, 2 years in a row he wins the Royal Rumble, goes on to WrestleMania, and get the title. Well, just because the fans wanted it, wouldn't have been the wisest choice, because yeah, if the WWE only does what the fans want and is too easily convinced that this is the best idea, somehow, if that really catches on in the long run, yeah, the fans would run the place. The inmates would run the asylum, wouldn't be the best choice. So, yeah, the problem here was the safe booking. If Reigns and Daniel Bryan would be the last 2 guys and have fought viciously against each other, and Reigns would have gained some credibility by eliminating Bryan directly. Sure, he would have gotten a lot of heat for that, but maybe people would have seen him more as a competitor. And yeah, him winning the Royal Rumble without ever really clashing with the big favorites, fan favorites like Daniel Bryan or Dolph Ziggler, yeah, what do you expect? You obviously have shown you want to push the guy beyond into the main event, and the crowd isn't convinced. And you go the safe route and don't have him clash with the fan favorites, so they can see, well, yeah. They did it afterwards at Fastlane against Daniel Bryan. Was a great match. But Roman Reigns, you have to admit he has or had his share of great matches. Some of them with the Shield, some of them in a singles run. But as with this match with Daniel Bryan, it's the same with most of these matches. He had a strong opponent to carry him a little bit through the match. Because don't get me wrong, I'm not a fan of Roman Reigns, but I think he really has potential. Given the right gimmick, the right attitude, and a little bit more versatility in the ring, he could be awesome. He really could be awesome, and he definitely, in the long run, has to be in the main event. Just because of his name, his posture, he is a guy. He would be wasted in the mid card, let alone just because of his looks alone. So in the end, he needs to be in the main event, but the WWE did hurt him a lot in 2015, and with his 5 moves of doom, it's hard to really like him. And a heel often has to be on the offensive in a match, except if it's a clash between two titans. If you have, for example, Ric Flair in his best days as a heel, was the NWA World Champion. He had to fight against local, very territorial guys who nationwide few people really knew. But for example, in Florida, they were great. Or well, the Von Erichs are a bad example because they were a little bit more of renown than other guys. But he had to fight a lot of, in the town he fought, the people knew the guy, they loved him. And with local TV stations, no, you know what I mean. They weren't very popular or well-known nationwide. So Ric Flair had to go there and have a local guy look like a $1 million TV star. And he did it. He really did it because it's not because he was the man of 1,000 holds. He knew how to really get the other guy over, how to get the heat, how to get people to hate him and cheer for the other guy, making him look good in the progress. And the problem with Roman Reigns is at the moment, he sure can dominate a guy, a face. He really can do that, and it's credible with his the way he looks. But if he's doesn't show a little bit more versatility in his moveset, it could get a little bit boring. So, and if you have him clash against, you have guys like AJ Styles, Dean Ambrose, and if he goes out, they both all the time go all out, both opponents. Well, it takes a little bit away from his destructive force. So although I'm a huge fan of turning Roman Reigns heel, it's not easy making it great and to have the heel be dominated throughout the match because he needs to be carried a little bit. Oh. Well, it would be something different. The face dominates and the heel is bam. We had our share of Superman faces. What about a Superman heel? He gets dominated all the time and suddenly, bam, Hulk up and he defeats the... But no, that's not the way to go with Roman Reigns. It would hurt him a whole lot, and he would get a lot of X-Pac heat. So anyway, back to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania against Brock Lesnar. That was a classic match, but with Brock Lesnar, it's the way it goes. Brock Lesnar dominates, and then he takes, it's not really a bump. He thinks it's a great idea to headbutt the ring post. Of course, he bleeds, and that was a great way to have Lesnar lose control because Reigns didn't really overpower him. And then you had the whole stuff where Reigns has his Hulk up routine, and Seth Rollins cashes in and saves the day. Lesnar didn't take the pinfall, Reigns did. So that was a great match too. So, and after that, 2015 was about pushing Roman Reigns to the top. He had a match against Big Show, was surprisingly good. You gotta say that. And a whole lot of other matches. But we have to be honest here, towards the end of the year, it got, well, yeah, I don't know. He won the tournament for the WWE World title at Survivor Series. Interesting concept, by the way, for us, not about Survivor Series. We had a title tournament at Survivor Series before in 1998, I recall. So not new, but it seemed fresh because it wasn't a whole lot of this whole King of the Ring 20 matches or whatever. The semifinals and the finals were here. And yeah, well, having him win the title against Dean Ambrose, not the best choice. Was more like, yeah, Ambrose gets a shot again, and of course he loses his big match, as he lost almost all of his big matches. And that's not the way to get Reigns over as a face. Then he clashed off with Sheamus, who cashed in the Money in the Bank suitcase. So that, well, Sheamus as a champion. That's the one thing I think people wanted to see even less than Roman Reigns as champion. He had his TLC match against Sheamus. There was a whole lot of interference, and then Triple H really had a great idea. He told I read it. I don't know where. I think was Bleacher Report WWE. I'm not exactly sure. I think it was linked on this site somewhere. So, yeah, we had Triple H said he was strongly for Reigns beating him down here to convince the other guys that Reigns should do it. Yeah, well, in the end, it was a good idea because Reigns got pops. And after he won the title, he got pops again. But then the WWE booking team really screwed him over again. And yeah, a match at Raw where he fights against 17 people. Most of the match was against Kevin Owens, but then a lot of interference and a lot of stare-offs and a lot of beating down people. And in the end, they cleared the ring and with the help of Brock Lesnar. But honestly, that's not if the WWE had to get the gist of the crowd that they didn't want Reigns as champion because he was a super fucking hero. And superhero gimmicks belong in the 80s. We need a tough guy who can fight, who can really overcome the odds. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be an everyday guy like Daniel Bryan who looks like he's one of you or me, one of us. Doesn't have to look that way, but it has to be credible. And a Superman isn't credible. It's boring. Guess with the whole DC, with the whole DC universe, it's far darker than Marvel, but then again, Superman is one of the most boring comic heroes of all time. And this kind of booking, I'm getting a little bit disturbed here by people. Well, anyway, Roman Reigns has suffered a lot from the booking and the stuff with the Royal Rumble. It was obvious what was going to happen there, but, well, it was obvious he wasn't going to win. And, yeah, he didn't win. Triple H did, and it was a smart choice per se, but because there was a lot of history, he was the to-go guy of the Authority who really could be in the huge match. I mean, come on. The other lackeys, who takes him credible, especially after, or who takes them seriously, especially after Roman Reigns has beat them so many times. Then we had the number one contender match. Again, nice three-way, not the best even Roman Reigns had, but, well, who cares? Good match too. And then we had the WrestleMania match, and yeah, it was kind of boring because it was slow-paced, it was very, very long. And finally, Roman Reigns won the title. And yeah, we have seen some changes in his personality since then. And a heel turn really is to be expected, and it would be a wise choice. Because at the moment, the people don't really like Reigns as champion. But this change in attitude, I get the feeling WWE wanted to finish their storyline the way they planned it, that Roman Reigns defeats Triple H, and well, the crowd booed for him, and now they don't like him. They pit him against a guy like AJ Styles, and this booking choice screams Reigns is going to turn heel, because turning Styles heel now and having him go after, steal Roman Reigns' title or defeat him for the title or do something stupid like that, wouldn't work. The crowd loves AJ. And AJ is a guy who really can bring out the best in Roman Reigns. He should be able to do that, and that's a smart choice. But no offense to AJ, he's not the youngest guy either, and WWE should really consider pushing a guy like Dean Ambrose more. But anyway, it's about Roman Reigns, and well, AJ Styles is the perfect guy. He can show his new attitude against, who he can really turn against. The stuff with Dean Ambrose, the brotherly betrayal, it would be a little bit more classic, and I would have loved that. But against AJ Styles, Styles is the new dog in the pound, and he gets a title shot even after losing against, essentially losing his feud against Y2J. He gets a title shot. And I think, I don't want to make a bet here, but I'd see AJ Styles win against Roman Reigns to finally turn Reigns heel, and with his new heel persona in the rematch, he regains the title and then is a dominant heel champion. And I think Roman Reigns as a dominant heel champion could be interesting. Like Brock Lesnar 2.0, but it's Roman Reigns, not Lesnar. I mean, with Lesnar it works that he suplexes his opponents through the ring all the time. It wouldn't work with Reigns, Superman punching the people all the time, especially as the Superman punch looks rather weird and weak. But then again, Reigns is on the verge of turning heel, and I hope the WWE really goes through with it, because if he is turned heel and regains his badass, the Shield persona, sooner or later the crowd will love him the more, or even more, than they did with in the Shield times. And given the right opponent, the crowd will turn him face again. And well, from there on we can really have a face Roman Reigns, maybe even in the main event. But with all the greats, they were great as heel before they were great as face. I mean, the list is really long. Ric Flair, long time heel, then super face. Bret Hart, long time heel, in the Hart Foundation, then super face. Shawn Michaels, okay, he was face first, but in his singles run, he really started to hit it off as a heel before he became the face of the WWE. And we can do that all night long. There are tons of people who were great as heel before they were great as face. And Roman Reigns has the potential to do that, and he has the potential to really be an interesting main event guy. If he is turned heel first and the crowd starts to love to hate him, and then realize, damn, we love to see the guy wrestle, so we might as well cheer for him. And of course he needs to have, as soon as he's turned face by the fans, you need to have strong heels. But we'll have to look at other guys for that. Because, well, anyway, Reigns should be heel, or should turn heel anytime soon. And I think that's a good. It's the best choice the WWE can do, because Roman Reigns, he's not the best talker yet, and his in-ring style is still a bit limited. And if they do it right, he can be a dominant heel. A little bit more versatility to his moveset would be good, even as a heel. But they can really play out his strengths as a heel best. And sooner or later, the crowd is going to love him. And AJ Styles is the right opponent. So, in the end, Roman Reigns, he still has a lot of work to do to really, really be the superstar the WWE has made him out to be. But the potential definitely is there. And yeah, as I said, with his heel turn that should soon be fulfilled against AJ Styles, that's the right way to go. And I think Roman Reigns will surprise many of the haters. I'm not a hater, I'm just not a fan yet. But he will surprise a lot of haters because he has shown that he really can work with certain guys, have great matches. It's the same with John Cena. Many people hate him, but well, it's not like he is a guy who has one crappy match after another. So Reigns, he had his classics, and he will have a lot more if the booking continues to go in the right direction, and at the moment it looks like it will. So that was my 2 cents about Roman Reigns. Maybe an in-depth look, call it what you want. Hopefully you'll tune in next time. So long.